As we continue to get comfortable with the user interface here in Word 2013, let's open up a document to take it a step further. To do that, we go to the File tab. Next, we'll make sure Open is selected. Now from here, you can actually access recent documents quickly and easily from the Recent Documents list. If it's your first time using Word, of course, there won't be anything on this list. We're going to the exercise files, and we haven't actually opened up any of them yet, so that means we have to choose another option. Notice the next option, the next default, is your SkyDrive. If you're already logged into your Microsoft account, you'll see your name followed by SkyDrive. And this is a great way to store files on the cloud and then have easy anywhere access to those files from any device. But we're going to our computer, and here's where we go to browse not just our own standalone computer, but any network connections as well. This is the old way of opening files, so we'll click Computer. And next, you'll see a list of recent folders you may have accessed. And if it's not on the list, just click Browse. This opens up a separate window, and this is what we're used to seeing when we go to open files in Microsoft Word. My exercise files are on the desktop, so over here on the left-hand side in the navigation pane, I'll select Desktop. You can follow along with me if that's where you placed yours. Next, we'll double-click a folder to open it up. There's the exercise files. A double-click opens it up to display subfolders. We'll double-click our Chapter 1 folder now. And in here's where we find the files we're going to be working with, including this first one, No Obstacles Bio Reading. Select that by clicking it and click Open. You can also double-click to make it a little quicker. Now it's going to open up the file, and you're going to be using the default view here, which is our Print Preview. If we move down to the very bottom of the screen on the status bar, you'll notice the middle view button is selected. So the print preview or print layout that we're looking at here is exactly how our document's going to print. Over here on the left-hand side in the navigation pane with headings selected, you'll notice there are a number of headings in our document. So we can jump quickly to those sections just by clicking a heading. We want to go to the Executive Team, we'll just click Executive Team. And we arrive at that page. Look at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll know what page you're on. Happens to be page 4 of 5. Let's go back to the top. We can click right above our first heading, right above Mission Statement to get to the top. Now remember, this is our print layout view, also known as Print Preview. Let's go down to our view buttons now and go to a new view called Reading View. In read mode, what we're actually going to be doing is focusing on reading our document. So the page numbers really don't matter. They're going to change based on our zoom level. The default zoom level should be 100% or actual size. But of course, if we want bigger text size, bigger print, we can click and drag that to the right. So for example, if we go to about 116%, it's a little easier to read. But notice the number of pages now has jumped up to 10. You also have some navigation buttons now. You'll have arrows on the left and right to move forward and backward through the pages. So let's go to the right. We'll click, and we see the next 2 pages. Click again, the next 2 pages. Want to go back? We can go back using the left arrow. Now, of course, we still have our navigation pane open. If you haven't closed it, you can use those headings. Let's go to Executive Team. Notice now that we're looking at screens 7 and 8 of 10, not necessarily pages. So that's our reading view. If you have a touch screen, you can swipe as well. Let's switch views now back to our print layout. Goes back to the original view, and our cursor's flashing right where we left off in reading mode. So let's go back to the top by clicking the arrow at the very top of our list of headings. And that's a quick look at opening up a document and using reading mode to read what might be considered a longer document. When we're done, to close up a document, we simply go back to that File tab, and from here you'll find Close. If you haven't made any changes to the document, it simply closes up. If you have made changes, you'd be prompted to save those changes, at which point you could choose to do so or simply cancel, which will close it up without saving any changes and take you back to the previous screen. We were looking at a new blank document, so that's what we see as we continue on here in Word 2013.